Hi book besties. So I just finished The Silverlight Heir by Emma Cole, and I rated this one 4 out of 5 stars. It is very much like a paranormal fantasy type of book with a little bit of romance shoved in it, like a little bit, and you don't get to the romance part of it until the end of the book. It was definitely a different type of read for me, for sure, because I'm kind of used to the romance and spice kind of being thrown into your face like as soon as you enter the book, which didn't happen in this case. I'm also very new to like any type of fantasy. I do like my like werewolf and vampire and those kinds of like books, but usually it's like a paranormal romance and not like a paranormal fantasy kind of thing. This one was kind of out of my like realm of what I normally read. And maybe that's why I was kind of confused for the first half of the book. Because I felt like when I got into this book, she name dropped so many people. And I honestly was like, am I supposed to remember all these people? Because if that's the case, I'm going to be lost this whole book. Luckily, I wasn't confused for the whole thing. But for the first half of it, I was like, am I supposed to know what she does, or who she is, or why she's so important? I just needed a little bit more backstory. That's it. Here's your one warning. If you don't want spoilers, keep scrolling. So when you first get into this book, it follows the female main character's mom. And it's kind of important to note that like her mom was the Silverlight Heir and was about to go through like the whole mating process of like, she's a werewolf. Okay, werewolf. And she was about to go through the whole mating process, which you don't find this out until it's the female main character's turn, where it kind of like all the alphas of each, I don't even know how to describe this, okay? But each of the alphas, I feel like there's 6 of them. I don't know how they got chosen, but they got chosen, and so when it came to the mating process, they're supposed to like each one of them like grab a part of her, like a hand, foot, whatever, grab a part of her and let the fates decide. And then whoever doesn't end up as her mate, the rest of them are guardians, so they like protect her with their lives, kind of thing. In the female main character's mom's case, that didn't happen. All of the ones that were supposed to like end up either being her mates or guardians had to leave to take care of like a border patrol issue, like the vampires were like invading their space or whatever. One of the guardian / mates younger brothers forced his mark onto her and mated with her, but like didn't complete it, like he like bit her and that was it. She ended up running away and running out of the borders, and the vampires caught her and they ended up forcing the mating onto her and actually completing it. She was eventually brought back to where she was, like the werewolf territory, and pretty much forced to be the guy that like bit her mate, even though like it would have been his second mate because he already had a mate. Pretty much she was like his concubine, like she just was there when he needed to like fulfill his needs, kind of thing. She eventually finds out she's pregnant, but it's not with the werewolf's baby, it's with the vampire baby. She's not allowed to leave her room once she like they find out like she's pregnant, and like she's pretty much held a prisoner the whole time. And then once she gives birth to the baby, they try to take the baby from her, but she ends up protecting Stella, which is the female main character, until the nasty dude got his way, ended up having the baby taken away from her and sent to like her adopted parents. After that, she jumped off a cliff, or she jumped out of her tower and ended it. And the Silverlight Heir is now Stella. So that's like the first 40 pages of the book. After that, you jump 20 years into the future, and Stella's now a 20-year-old woman and still living with her adopted parents. The dad's kind of become like a protector of her in a way, but her mother hates her and makes her life hell. And they're kind of like the way it is like she's growing up in like the modern world. So like they have phones and computers and all those things and cars. But she hasn't been able to experience any of them because her mother's kept her very like, and the pack, honestly, the pack and her mother have kept her very like hidden from the world, and so she hasn't been able to like experience anything. The other packs don't even know that there is a new Silverlight heir. They just know that the last one died, and this pack has been keeping this one on wraps because the alpha's orders. And the alpha's kind of set an arranged like mating between his son and her because he wants the power. And the council and what would have been her mother's mates or guardians are doing like kind of like a tour through all the packs to make sure everything's okay. Don't ask me what the council is. I just know that they're important. Once they stop at their pack, she ends up, I don't even know how she ends up being found out, but she does. And so now everyone knows that there's a new Silverlight heir, but that she's like a half werewolf, half vampire, which has never happened. So she ends up going through, they make her go through the whole mating process, which her mom would have done. They all end up touching her in some form, and the fates end up choosing, the main character is Riddick. And we don't like him. At least I don't like him. He very much tries to play the martyr. You have to remember, he did this before he knew that there was a Silverlight mate, or Silverlight heir, and that he'd be mated with her. He had just been approved to take a mate. Something about like the guardians not being able to like mate because there's not a Silverlight heir. Like they have to wait for one. It's also should be known that there's like probably, these were the same guys that should have mated her mother 20 years ago. So they're like a significant amount older than she is. So he ends up being approved to have a mate, but then he has to go, like, once the fates decide that he's going to be mated to Stella, he still chooses to go along with having that second mate, which in turn breaks Stella because like she just wants, like, she doesn't really want him, but like it's still her mate, and she feels everything, like they're all bonded together, so she feels everything that everyone feels, and they can all talk to each other through a mind link, like that. She's crushed that he's still deciding to go with having a second mate. And then the other 5, her guardians. So her 5 other guardians are Cass, Sin, C-Y-N, Hunter, Vance, and Roman. And they all step up to take his place. Not like in a mate's, like how a mate would, not until later in the book, but they all are there for her and help her train with like her Silverlight heir powers and things like that. It does end on a freaking cliffhanger, and I'm not happy about it. I need the second book now. Considering it's been 2 years, I'm hoping it comes out soon because the Silverlight heir was written and released in 2023. So I'm hoping we get the second one soon because, yeah, I need to know what happens. It was a really good book. The only reason I rated it the way I rated it is because I was kind of confused for a lot of it, or for the first half of it at least. I am needing the second book pronto, so Emma Cole, if you could let me know when that one's coming, I'd be greatly appreciative. If you haven't checked out The Silverlight Heir by Emma Cole, definitely go check it out. Worth the read, especially if you don't like a lot of spice. It's a good one. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.